Hey guys, it's Anna here and welcome back to my channel. So I am here today to discuss a little bit about my past goals for 2020 and look ahead into my goals for 2021 related to language learning. Now, I'm gonna say, first of all, if this video is posted by Christmas, I want to say Merry Christmas to those of you who celebrate, Happy Holidays to the rest of you. And as well, if this video is posted sometime after Christmas, I wish you a belated Merry Christmas and of course a Happy New Year, Happy 2021. So now, 2020 was actually a pretty good year for me. I'm sure we all had to learn how to be a little bit more flexible this year, considering how the year transpired, if you know what I mean. I think I was a little bit too ambitious with my goals. However, I did achieve quite a bit, I think, especially in the my two main focus languages, German and Spanish. I would have to say I achieved a lot. However, we do have some failures on my list, unfortunately, including dropping a language, which was Italian, which I discussed in my previous video, and of course French, which unfortunately got left behind and abandoned for most of the year, unfortunately. So now, looking back on 2020, again, like I said, very successful. My two main focus languages were German and Spanish for the majority of the year. My goal for Spanish was to move from a B1 to a B2 on the CEFR, if you know what that is, I believe it's called the Center of European Framework of Reference. Please correct me if I'm wrong, scale of levels, language levels. From a B1 to a B2. German, I wanted to get up from an A2 to a B1, and I can confidently say that I achieved both of these. My primary objective was to focus on speaking and writing for both of these languages, respectively, and daily exposure, and I can say with confidence that I achieved what I wanted to, and of course my level for both of these languages I can confidently say have been achieved. Now, of course, I did not expect to be dropping Italian, but I did. I did not expect to be starting a new language, but I did, which was Brazilian Portuguese, and I'm very glad that I did. And without further ado, I'm gonna get right into it. I'm gonna get right into my 2020 reflection. Bueno, por fin en español. Al final del 2019 ya hice una meta grande de aprovechar un nivel de B2 en español. Entonces, ¿cómo lo aproveché este año pasado? Bueno, tenía una meta en la que quería juntarme con un grupo del intercambio en línea semanales y tener por lo menos una lección de italki en el año y escribir en mi diario personal más frecuente que el año de 2019 y leer también un libro completamente en español y también reconocer bien las expresiones coloquiales y frases informales específicamente de Colombia y México y también por casi todos de la región de América Latina, y también mantener la inversión auditiva y leyendo por casi todos los días. La verdad puedo decir con tan confianza que los logrado todos y me siento más confortable y fluente que me sentía al inicio del año. Lo siento, es decir, hablo con una cantidad menor de pausas y uso una variedad del vocabulario tan amplio y variado. Sin embargo, todavía hago pocos errores que quisiera de corregir más. Y también lo más importante es de hablar más frecuente. Am Ende des Jahres 2019 ich wollte eine B1-Sprachniveau für Deutsch zu schaffen. Das bedeutet, dass ich die kostenlose A2 und B1-Kurse nie kursfähig von Deutschschwelle machen werde. Das ist eine sehr gute Kurse für Deutsch lernen, weil es dort so viele Dialogen und klare Erklärungen des Grammatikpunkts gibt. Ich werde die Webseite in die Kommentare schreiben. Das habe ich geschafft. Ich hatte auch einen Plan für einmal pro Monat im Journal zu schreiben und auch mit einer Online-Gruppe zu treffen, dieses ich schon gemacht habe. Ich habe auch quasi täglich Webseite Zielen genutzt und ich auch die in die Kommentare schreiben werde. Ich kann ja richtig sagen, dass ich ein B1-Sprachniveau für Deutsch habe. Am nächsten Jahr, ich werde mehr oft sprechen, um mein Deutsch zu verbessern und um mein Deutsch mehr fließig zu sprechen. Bem, certo? Esse é o meu primeiro vídeo no português, então fico um pouco nervosa. Estou aprendendo o português brasileiro depois em março de 2020, por causa da quarentena nesse ano. Eu tinha mais tempo livre e pensei, oi, eu já falo espanhol e português é tão similar como o espanhol, então por que não aprendo? Um dia eu decidi de ver alguns vídeos e escutar algumas músicas em português e eu descobriu que eu amo o rítmico da língua. Por isso começou a aprender o português. Desde março eu estava aprendendo por todos os dias, por isso eu estava livros, podcasts, vídeos, músicas e também às vezes estava falando português sozinha. E agora estou usando o site Readlang e o curso de pulso também, no nível B1, aproximadamente. Por agora, estou bastante feliz com o meu nível de português, mas no futuro queria melhorá-lo.
Okay, so now we move on to ASL. This past year, 2020, in terms of the ASL skills, the different ones that I wanted to focus on, I only had a few. I didn't really have a lot. Why was that? So far I feel very satisfied in my ASL skills. Communicating, I can communicate very quickly and think very quickly, don't have to think and pause really slowly, process, search for words in ASL, never have to. I feel very satisfied when I sign. I can do that very quickly. Since the start of 2020, my two main goals for ASL were what? My first one was at my college. They have an interpreter program. I wanted to apply to that. The other goal I had was to attend local deaf community events. Go to different ones around the area, different areas, socialize with deaf people, do that more often, chat with them and discuss things more often. Once the year finished, both of those goals, I can say I achieved both of them. Very satisfied achieving both of them. Now I'm in my first year as an ASL interpreting, student. Yep. In that program, what am I learning? I'm learning how to improve my ASL, specifically through feedback, discussing and chatting about, about what goals I want to achieve with ASL, like checking for mistakes, learning how to continue improving my ASL. Now for that goal, in terms of meeting more often with those in the deaf community, more socializing with deaf people, going to different parts to do that, doing that more often. Obviously I couldn't because of COVID, fingerspelling COVID-19. Like everyone else in the world, we all switched to meeting in person to now meeting online. And I did that. I was the same. I connected with members of the deaf community through online. We would chat on there, signing away. I tried to do as much of that as possible. Now moving on to the next year. My main goal for ASL is, I don't have a lot of goals. All the things I did this past year for ASL, I'm going to do the same.
Alright, so back to English now. Another language that I did start this year that I was very surprised and I never expected to ever be learning in my life was Norwegian. As of filming this video, which is late December, I've only been studying this language actively for about 2 weeks now. Before that, a little bit of dabbling for personal interest here and there, but now I've decided to officially study it since I love the language. I appreciate the culture a lot, and of course it's very similar to German and English. Now, my goals for Norwegian for the next year are not going to be too much, again, because I'm starting right at the beginning. I'm right at A0. I am not going to be setting my sights too high. My goal primarily for 2021 is to be able to have a basic conversation about myself, about my life, introduce myself, my nationality, my family, my interests, basic general things like that, etc. for about 10 minutes or so. Maybe film a short video in Norwegian. We'll see how good my Norwegian gets, but I'm not taking it too seriously, but I will be focusing on it for the first 3 months of the year, from January to March, alongside Portuguese and French. Yeah, and my goal, of course, is to get from A0 to around an A1, A2. Again, like I said, not setting my sights too high, just really enjoying it, taking it in for pleasure, and it's the only new language that I'm starting for 2021. So yeah. Alright, so now for my goals for the rest of my languages for 2021. For this year, I'm planning to not be, I don't want to be too harsh on myself as I was last time, and kind of forgive myself if sometimes I have to miss an event or miss an italki lesson or miss a day of writing or, whatever, because, life happens. As we've all learned this year, I'm sure, how to be flexible with that and how to forgive ourselves if we, miss a target goal, miss an italki lesson, etc. This year also, I'm not going to be projecting my goals for the entirety of the year. I'm rather going to be dividing the year in chunks every 3 months in quarters, so that's like every 3 months I'm going to be switching up my focus languages, evaluate every month or so, see if I need to change things, and be okay with flexibility. So for the first 3 months, January to March, my focus goals are French and Portuguese, and of course also Norwegian. My goals for French are, of course, to sound more fluid and fluent in conversation. Of course, that includes reviewing all of the B1 course in Busu. That's pretty much just review for me, and refreshing the language for myself. I will try to journal more in the language, maybe once or twice a month. I will try to be speaking more, ideally once a week, with an online group, which I'm a part of, which is a French-English language exchange. And I will see if I can get an italki lesson in French for January, and for each month, we'll see if expenses allow. But yeah, that's for French. Now for Portuguese, I also wanted to say I'm not going to be focusing on levels. I'm not going to say A2 to B1, B1 to B2, etc. I'm just going to be focusing on primary skills. So for Portuguese, my goal is to one day, sometime in 2021, make a video in Portuguese, probably within the first 3 months of the year. That's a little bit of a scary thing to think about, but I'm ready for the challenge. I want to finish the Busu B2 course. As of now, I am just wrapping up on the Busu B1 course for Portuguese, and I hope to get wrapped up with that soon. I'll be studying Portuguese as well every day through ReadLang, which is an excellent source, which I will definitely, I believe I said that in my Portuguese portion when I was speaking Portuguese. I will definitely be leaving that down below. It's excellent for reviewing vocabulary and through online content. And again, like I said, just maintaining daily exposure. I will try to journal at least twice a month in Portuguese, but again, I will be forgiving on that. And maybe take an italki lesson. That's a little bit terrifying to me because I feel very insecure about my Portuguese accent right now, so we'll see how that goes. So next is Norwegian, which again I will be focusing on alongside Portuguese and French. Did I say that? Yes. Norwegian, Portuguese, French. Those are my 3 focus languages for March. Yes, that's correct. I just want to make sure I said that correctly. Alright, so for Norwegian, again, like I said, I'm not going to be taking it too seriously. I'm going to be studying from the book The Mystery of Nils, complete a story at least every day, study vocabulary of Duolingo. I know Duolingo is not the best resource, but in the beginning stages it is excellent for acquiring vocabulary in my opinion. So I will be studying that every day. I will be watching a video in Norwegian every day. Daily exposure, little by little, and of course, studying vocabulary every day. As for the rest of my languages, including Spanish, German, ASL, let's see, am I forgetting any? Yeah, I believe that's all. I'll leave a note here if I forgot a language. They will all be in maintenance mode. Spanish, I'm working towards a little bit more of an advanced level, if you want to put that on the CFR scale, B2 to C1. But right now it's mostly in maintenance mode. I'll be trying to read a book in Spanish, speaking more in Spanish, very similar to my other goals as well, but it will not be my focus, at least for the first 3 months of the year. And of course, German will be in maintenance mode because I have achieved a B1 level. I will also be using as well the B1 to B2 book called Enjoy German. I'm really looking forward to it. And of course, maintaining the language continuously and journaling, speaking, etc., etc. And as for ASL, I don't really have any goals except for, continue to participate in my classes, which I already do, and attend online deaf events as often as I can. Again, like I said, I don't have too many goals for these 3 remaining languages because they're already at a very comfortable level, and for most of them, they are just in maintenance mode. So yeah. Alright, so those were my goals for the new year and a reflection on my goals from this past year. So definitely let me down below, how was your 2020? Did you achieve all your goals? Were there some failures? Did you have to learn maybe how to be a little bit more flexible like me? And let me know definitely what your goals are for 2021. If we have any languages in common, any goals in common. Yeah, I definitely love to know anything about that down below. And of course, as always, happy learning and take care. Bye-bye.